Yeah, so hi, I'm Carrie Ann, one of the admins in the group, and we're just going to be talking about different tour operators to be able to assist in curating our trips, our clients' trips for them. Sometimes they'll come back and ask, um, for something that's not listed on the typical excursions for the suppliers list. What I find though that if you contact some of those suppliers, the tour operators directly, you may be able to get some things that's not listed. And I just wanted to go over that really quickly, so we don't lose sight of that or rely too much on Viator or Viator, however y'all say it. I don't know, but like I don't know if anyone else has used Viator. Like personally, I've used Viator, and I feel sometimes it's so iffy. If you're gonna get what you're um what you're paying for, or if you will have communications with the vendors that's on there. And I'm not trying to badmouth or give any. It just makes it really questionable sometimes. One thing I will say, they Viator is usually pretty responsive. Um, um, huh, Priscilla still can't hear us. I don't know.
Yeah, I called in from my phone. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, okay, good. That's what I did too. Okay. Um, so yeah, so we, like I said, one thing I like about them, if you do have an issue, they usually respond right away. But I don't want our clients to be in a situation where they're not able to get in contact directly with them. So I'm not sure how Viator handles, like in destination stuff. I've used them for local things. Um, but anyway, that is an option. Not to take them off the table, they are an option. But just know that Viator is a company that's hosting a lot of other tour operators, and the communication between you, Viator, and the tour operators sometimes can be delayed. Um, Another option that I use, of course I focus a lot of my sales are in Jamaica, so I find that being a part of these travel agent groups does help to bring about other tour operators that may not be, um, you know, that you wouldn't know of. So in the Jamaica group, there's a lot of tour operators in that group themselves. So if you're searching for something that's, like a client request, like so the other day, I had a client that requested to go to Kingston. Oh boy, I don't even know why or how they would want to do that, because it is a pretty far away drive. But the typical tour operator is not going to be able to provide that. So I just search the group. I try to search the group and reach out to a couple of tour operators, and of course get their pricing, and try to go with. I try not to use ones that's um, most popular, and the reason is because I feel they get busy too, and then you will be lost in the sauce. For example, in Jamaica, Neville Spence is like the top tour operator. If you ask anybody anything in the group, that's the first name. You'll see that name all over. I personally reached out to Neville Spence for a personal trip for that same reason, wanting to transport my family from Kingston to Montego Bay. And although we initially connected, I never heard back from him. And I was like, it's okay because, I know we're busy, but I didn't want to keep going back, like, hey, did you get it? Did you find out? Because he had to find a driver, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like he was just too busy for me. And I understand. So what I did, I just went and found another person who's also recommended, right? They just don't have to be 100 people recommended. I find people that also have multiple recommendations, but not necessarily 100. One of them is called Best Jamaica. I like using her because she's very responsive. I can reach her on WhatsApp. If she says she's going to provide me something within a day or two, I get it. And that's what I look for when communicating with tour operators. That's not, the typical ones. Another group, I think it was, yeah, there's a Cabo group that I did, a Cabo tourist, not tourist, travel agent group. I think it's SG Day, G Day, SJD, and something else. Like it's, if I find it, I'll post it in here as well. But there were some recommendations there for one of the tour operators. He was phenomenal. Like he was great to communicate with. Took deposits by PayPal. Like if there was any changes, he was quick to change. It wasn't, and his fees were comparable or less. So that was just one of my things. I just tried to find things within the travel agent groups. So if you're not a part of, especially those destinations, try to get into those groups and search and see if there's tour operators that is recommended and that you can communicate well with, and to be able to curate that special excursions for your travelers. Like in Cabo, what I liked about my guide, I had 26 people that traveled to Cabo, and most of them, I would say 20 of them arrived on the same flight, something or close to it, and they were willing to wait, and pick up everyone, at one time versus leaving and coming back. They were pretty flexible at for the pickup time for them to return, because some of them returned at different times. They added excursions for the girls when they were requested, and then he would actually let me know, although I didn't do commissions from that, but he would let me know, like, hey, the ladies are trying to book such and such day. This is the price I'm telling them. I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine, like that. So I really liked his communication. If you want to do a big tour operator, Project Expedition is one of the ones that's mentioned a lot in the travel agent groups. They're pretty much everywhere. They're in more places than like if you can't get like Nexus or Amstar there, they usually have. They're very good in Hawaii. They have a lot of excursions off the off the grid excursions in Hawaii. I've never booked with them, but I've communicated with them one on one before, and they also are very responsive when you talk to them. They respond immediately to you. There's a chat feature on here. I'm on the Project Expedition website. There's a chat feature on here where you can talk to them. I think it's between a certain hours, but they'll pop right up and communicate with you. What I do like I said, I have not booked any excursions with them, but I did set up my website, and they're able to add your logo right here, and you can share this website with your clients, like how you would with Viator. You can also share with their Project Expedition, and they can book directly, and you'll still get your commissions for. That's another one. Let me see. Destinations. Look at all of this. Look at it. Look at all of these places. Look at all of these places. Like like even if we book in VAX, and oftentimes in VAX, like when you're doing outside of the Caribbean, they don't really offer much excursion opportunities or options. You can just come here and add, right? They can do they do private transfers as well. I think In fact, I think that's the one thing that I did book with them in Antigua. I did a private transfer for my clients because it was a little bit less. But here we are in Egypt. You can add, and I just selected Egypt because we were just talking about it. But you can add any of these tours here, and just like Viator, you'll book through here, but they would have to coordinate with the tour operators specifically. I know there's been some issues as of late with confirming tours. It seems that many of the suppliers are experiencing issues with short staffing. So I wouldn't suggest doing any last minute tours. Not saying don't, but that's not really a high suggestion because you may not be able to confirm it, and then your clients won't have the experience. So just be careful with that lately. That was a couple of issues that Project Expedition specifically, where some agents mentioned that. They also have their own Facebook group. That Project Expedition Travel Advisors group. I'm trying to find. It's usually pretty positive information that's here. The other day there was one that was negative, but they allowed it because they wanted to explain what happened. Not to say that the agent was incorrect in the information that was provided, but again they ran into here it is right here. She was upset. They ran into a not being able to confirm it with the supplier, and it was like last minute or something. So just be careful of that. Another one is sometimes we're on say backs, right? And sometimes they don't list all of the excursions that's available in a particular area. Amstar DMC is one of the ways that you can get some additional excursions added. Of course, yes, it would be, with these, when you're adding excursions, it has to be paid in full. But at least you'll be able to get that for them if it's not showing up in the BACS portal. So if you have not yet signed up, you have to sign. It's just this weird way last year to be able to sign up. They have a DMC portal, which is not the same for the TPI agents. It was like a big mess in trying to get my account set up, but they were able to correct it. But it is here. I posted about it last February. Once sign up, the information provided email is not correct. Travel planners have their own separate login that you have to use, okay? So if you have not yet signed up, that's another way that you can get those excursions that's not showing. Also, Nexus is another one. Nexus is mostly used with Vacation Express, but you can book Nexus outside of that as well, because again, not all of the tours are shown there. And what I like about Nexus, they run these specials often where you're getting additional discounts. So sometimes it would be, most times, it's usually less than what the price is showing in Vacation Express. Like, I don't book my transfers with Vacation Express. I usually book it here. And what I like about Nexus, you can, for the transfers, I haven't done any excursions with them, but for the transfers, you can set up a transfer and not pay for it until, you have up until it's the day before, 24 hours before, but I usually try to do it like 48 hours, right? I think it's, don't wait that late, especially if you have if you caught a good deal on it. You don't want that booking to cancel. So you can set up a transfer without any payments, so you can just hold it. And then, so I typically hold my, I don't pay for it. I usually wait till they've paid in full, and then I'll add it. Because, people change their minds, and I don't want to, um, you know, have to go back and forth with the cancellations and stuff like that. You can, even if you book it, right, you have up until 24 hours. I think that's where the 24 hours came in. Have until 24 hours um, prior to departure to be able to cancel and get your money back. You get a full refund. Otherwise, if it's inside that time, you won't be able to, won't get a refund. What is happening? Why? What's going on? Oh, because I'm in Mexico City. What? I wasn't trying to go to Cuba. All right. So here we are. So you can see right now they're offering a sale on transfers. So this is their shared transfer, and then you can opt to break it up. Sometimes that you can do. Oh shucks, they're offering deluxe now. That's nice. Like that. See, I need to get. Not in this particular setting, but sometimes you can do a shared transfer going and a private coming back. Sometimes it's usually split up that way. Uh, this is pretty cool. I had a client that reached out to me that they're booking and they're handicap accessible. I mean they're in a wheelchair, and I might have to reach back out to her because I need to set up like something like this to make sure that they're able to transport it correctly. But yeah, so they usually have these flash sales in here, and it comes out lower than oftentimes it comes out lower than the like Vacation Express themselves. And then like so you'll fill out all of the information here, all of your client's information. If you noticed that when I entered the date, it shows up backwards. I had a client that was concerned about that, but yeah, so their dates are backwards. So it would say 27/6 for June 27. So just keep that in mind when it shows up. And then you would hit continue, and then it would say, let me see if I can do one real. Seems to be a popular site. I feel like I type that number all the time, 88840. Out of Charlotte. I'm always getting that number. I'm like, oh Lord. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna leave that. Okay. Do I need to set up my transfer? I think I do. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So they Nexus has a TA rate. If you don't want to get the commission, it's called tax special, and it will be it will only charge you. It's I have to get it again, but that should be it. It will only charge you the net rate. I have to get it again, but yeah. So if you don't want to get the commission, they'll charge you net, and then you can blah blah, right? So then you would. Did I log in? Yeah, I did, right? You see, it didn't do this before. Why is it doing this? Logged into the right one? No, I'm not. That's probably why it didn't work. That code didn't work. Okay, let's try it again. Sorry, y'all. You can reach Nexus is also reachable on WhatsApp, on Facebook. Facebook I find is the slowest, so I don't really mess with them. You can also reach them here. But this messenger is for this chat here. It's mostly for consumers. Like once you tell them that you're an agent, they won't talk to you here. So if you just want to get a quick, and they usually open pretty late. If you want to get a quick quote, you can talk to them here without saying you're an agent. But once you say you're an agent, they'll kick you out. They'll be like, oh no, you got to talk to such and such or whatever. I find WhatsApp the easiest, the quickest way to get in contact with them. Also, email. If you have a last minute request, they have a special email that's usually pretty responsive too. But of course, they all within operating hours. If it works now. Okay. See, yeah. So for like I said, travel agents, if you want to take your commission out, this would be it will just charge you the net rate. All right. And then you get the option right here to book now, pay later. You accept that, and then you will continue to the next step, and you'll have your confirmation. I don't want to do that because I don't want to have a. Wait a minute. I think I do need to book it anyway. Because I am supposed to set up my transfer. I'm not gonna book it because I put the wrong date in there. But yeah, I am actually traveling to this location. Oh, God. But yes, so I can do it because then I can just change the date. I'll change the date. Like it's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like to see a lot of cancellation stuff on my on my things. Like so I try not to book something that I know that I'm gonna cancel later. But yeah, so this is it right here. Down, here's your confirmation number. They'll send you like three emails saying the same exact thing. I don't know why, but it generates that. And then you can come back. I mean, hit the pay button right here, or you can cancel it. If you're gonna make any changes, you have to reach out to them by email or by chat, Facebook, WhatsApp, and you'll get that done. See all of your bookings here, partner area. Down here, here are all of them. See, I had some canceled out. And when it's not paid, it will show like this. When it is paid, you'll have your green check mark. And when it is canceled out, you'll have that there. So if you want to come back in and make your payment, you just come in, do where is it at? Right here. You can do the price breakdown, is it? And yep, and then you say pay booking. Yeah, that's it. You just pay the net price, right? It was like $67, right? You would just be paying net 46. Yeah, for the travel agent rate. Like again, if you're gifting a client something, something like that, you can do that. Okay. So that's Nexus. And then yeah, I don't remember. Yep. And this is Amstar. Again, and this link I can send it out to. I'm sorry. The only thing with Nexus, there's no shared link that you can send out. You would have to book it through you. So that's the one thing that I don't like. But my thing I would just tell them like, hey, I can get it a lower price for you. That's pretty much it. And Nexus has they're in the major countries, Caribbean countries travel to, and they have a lot of excursions available. If you don't see it on there, you can always chat with them and see if they'll be able to pull it up. Like I was having issues with the Antigua when I was booking the transfers in Antigua. It was just this weird way that it was listed in here that I couldn't find it, and I don't think the typical person would be able to find it. But I just called and they were able to fix it for me. Keep that in mind that you can't share that one. With the travel with Amstar, the same thing. See that you're limited to these countries here, and I find that I, I don't think they have like a whole lot of excursions Star itself, but you can go through it fine. Like I don't think they in VAX that it lists all 22. So if there's something that you want, you can go in and find it here, and they can book directly using this link, I believe. Yep, this is my personal link they can use. Um, on a second, let me see. One sec, guys. Tagging me, so I'm trying to. An account. Okay. All right. Yep. So you can share that link. I have not used it, so I don't know. Like I said, my go-to. I just like to have options. I like to know about different options, but my go-to has been Nexus. Um, mostly, and smaller operators, from searching the groups, right? So that's just my thing. I haven't used Amstar specifically or this link to be able to book it, so I don't know. I have clients that's going to Isla Mujeres. They want to stay on the island. I don't know if any of you had any experience with that. I've not. I've visited, on a day trip. I've never stayed there, so I had to do some research, and that's what you see, like these tabs. I be having all these tabs open, right? So there was one Happy Transfer. It was one of the recommended tour operators that was used. Happy Shuttle, yeah. That a lot of people recommended that would be able to get you over to Isla Mujeres. So I started with Nexus, and Nexus will get you to the ferry. They don't get your ferry tickets. They just take you to the ferry and drop you off, and then you take the ferry over to Isla Mujeres, and then you find your way to your hotel. It's a pretty small island, so they suggested taxi or even a golf cart rental. Happy Shuttle will take you all the way. They have options where you can book the what you call it, the transfer from the airport to the shuttle. They get your shuttle ticket and they take you over to, but you still have to get what you call it, a taxi or something to the hotel. But I like that they included the transfer ticket and the ferry ticket in that as well, so you have a good idea on time. So this was one that was recommended that I'll be using for um, for the transfers for my group that's going there. Is there anyone? I mean, have you guys used any that you feel that's a good mention, or that you'd like to share with the group?
Get your guide.
Say again.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Get your guide.
Oh yes, I've heard them. I heard about them too. That is a good one.
Yeah, I use them for transfers, but I'm wavering between them and Viator for my Ireland trip.
Mhm.
So, but they have a lot of the same tours as Viator, but they're also very responsive from
Mhm.
like when I booked my transfers for my clients, like a couple of days before they left, I called and I was like, hey, like I just want to confirm everything that you have all the correct information. They answered pretty fast.
Mhm. Okay,
So
that's cool. So if you did you sign up directly with them, or are they on the
they're in the back office. The only thing is how with Viator you can do you get like a referral link.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
no, you know how with Viator you get the referral link. With Get Your Guide,
Okay.
you don't get that.
Get that.
You you have to. They send you a link that you are supposed to use um to book stuff. But
Mhm.
the weird thing about them is the link the link just takes you to the website. So like if, for example, you find a bunch of tours and you want to save it, you can't
Okay.
until you sign up on their regular site. So you have to
Oh.
like sign up for like a login and whatever, and then that's when you can save stuff. It's really weird. um, but there is a way, like when you sign up on the regular site, I think once you keep going through the booking, it asks you like for travel agent information.
Mhm.
So you can enter stuff there.
Can you reach them by phone as well? Like if you had some issues or
Yeah,
anything like that? Okay.
yeah, that's how I talk to them for my clients thing. I just called in and they answered pretty fast.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm one of those people. Like sometimes I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna try to figure this out. Let me just call somebody. I'll be on hold. It's okay. I
Yeah,
just try to
I didn't have a hold with them. They answered
fix it.
like almost immediately.
Yeah.
So,
So that's some of them. Let me see. For back to island routes is very popular in. Is it? I always mess up the name. Is it island routes? Yeah, right. Should be island routes.
Island New Harris.
Eh. Yeah. It is island routes. I always be like, what? So they're in I keep going back to Jamaica, but they are one of the tour operators in Jamaica as well. But I believe they're in other destinations. Let me try to see. So these are their destinations here, mostly in the Caribbean, right? Oh,
You aren't
sorry,
sharing
not
anymore.
yeah. See that now. Yep. So these are the destinations here. All, well, not all, but Caribbean destinations that they have. So I always tell this story about island routes. So we went to Jamaica. We booked Cool Runnings, which is darn, I can't remember the name of the tour company, but they're well known. Um, so we booked the catamaran cruise to Dunn's River Falls, and it includes the Margaritaville, right? And we had a great time. But we got on the boat, and they have their little rum punch or whatever, but they had no like little finger food, like. So you're drinking all this time. You go snorkeling. I don't snorkel. I don't swim. But they go snorkeling or whatever, and you're drinking all this time with nothing. And then Island Routes pulled up to us, and they was live. And we were like, we want to be on that ship. And they have food galore all over. And I was like, oh my God, like I wanted to be on that. But of course, they were a little bit more expensive, I guess, because it comes with food. So not to knock my people. I mean, the cruise that I was on, we actually went to Margaritaville following, and I think that's where our food came in. But I was like, well, that's kind of late because you've been drinking most of the day. You go to Dunn's River Fall and then go to Margaritaville. Like you're starving by then, And then it's just anyway. But that was just one of my things. That was my first experience with I like their catamaran cruise. I like their catamarans. It's really nice. It's nothing special. It just stands out compared to the others. So this is another attraction here. They're also very responsive by email. You can call them as well. You can I like how they do their group stuff, that you can just tell them what you want. They can do private stuff for you. Like if you want to do that catamaran on a private level, they'll do that for you, I have used them a couple of times. I booked directly. I think I used them for my first wedding group because they booked a private catamaran. And they do pay. I forgot to say, all of the suppliers that I mentioned, they do pay commission, right? They all pay commission. So this is another one to have in your back pocket. That's outside of the suppliers. That's the suppliers that we use. I'm trying to see if there's. I wanted to go to West Jamaica. Does she have one? I'm not sure if she even had. No, I don't know if she had. I just talked to her by email. But yeah, like I said, I get a lot of my tour operators. I just scroll through these private agent groups and just try to get in contact with some that's recommended but not overly. I don't want them to be too popular. I want to make sure my clients are well taken care of without it being I don't like being not being answered or being thrown off, you know. But I get it. They're pretty busy, you know. I just try to stick with people that I can count on, you know. And I just didn't like that experience with Neville Spence. Um, like he never followed up, never said anything. And I think probably because he didn't take me seriously, you know, because the typical person don't ask to go to Kingston from Montego Bay. But I would have preferred he said something like, you know, not at this time or something like that. Anyway, but that's my experience with him, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Um, any questions? Like I said, it was just a quick overview, just some things to keep in mind. Um, so I'm trying to make sure those are the ones that I use. Island Routes, Amstar, or that I'm familiar with. Project Expedition, Nexus, your guys, right? Guys are familiar with Viator. I can't think of any additional ones. Oh, traffic tours. I knew there was another one. So traffic tours, um, they are Delta's tour operators. JTF? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, they are Delta's tour operators. And then in American Airlines, oh, they have BD Experience. So that was how I started booking all my Nexus trips because like BD Experience, they had like the worst. All the agents were always complaining about them not showing up and not picking up your clients. And I was like, oh my God, I had a group going in to Punta Cana, which seems to have the most problems. So I was like, I'm not using them. So I'm not. So whenever there's transfers, I don't use American Airlines transfers, BD Experience. I try to avoid them as much as possible, but that's their transfer people. But traffic tours you can book directly with them as well. I've not used them, but I've seen them in the what you call it, the webinars and stuff like that they share. This is another one that's outside, and they talk about different, outside excursions that's not. I think it was them that I reached out to. There's this Caribbean cooking class that you can't find. It's not listed on each tour operator, but I was able to find it here in Yemen. These people had it, Yemen. Um, Here they are. So these are just other tour operators and they pay commission. When you call and talk to them, they include commission as well, so you can book directly with them. But they have like this food tour or something like that. It's not listed with all of the vendors, but they have it directly. I'm sorry, I'm harping much on Jamaica. I don't want to. I sell a lot of Jamaica. That's what it is. So that's that. Those are the people that I get in contact. I'm most in contact with. This is the catamaran I was talking about that we had booked. Chukka Tours. It's Chukka, but they use I think their boats. Some of their boats are labeled Cool Runnings or something like that. Yeah. Um, it was a good experience. I was just like, "Where's the food? Shoot!" But yeah. If there's no other questions, that is it.
I have a question, but it has nothing to do with this.
Okay, yep, that's fine.
Off recording when you're done.